for a long time.
Mm.
You know,
I wonder if
so
that do you think that has something to do on the play on the financial system? Because it was one point in time I was believing, just based on my own independent research, that in order to reset the debt, that you have to basically kill off the collateral. And during the time when you had the 1928 stock market crash, that's when you transfer all the way up into 1934. You had humans turn into humanoid real estate. So since we're actually the money, and the money is doesn't have an intrinsic, resource backing it. So in order to reset the debt, do they have to create some type of depopulation?
the reason why fiat work is because it's predicated upon BTU to labor hours.
Mm-hmm.
BTUs is the amount of energy your body naturally just put off. Calories
Okay.
burned per minute is another term for it. The basic, what they call increase in the calorie burn per hour determines what an hourly wage of a functional work output is. So they're using that as the collateral, your bioenergy field, as the
Mm-hmm.
collateral for the fiat. Your ability to work services your contribution to the banking system.
Mm-hmm.
So they are using that to like as a control measure. So the money not backed by nothing. The promise is that you're going to work under the Social Security Act. You're going to work to remedy the debt that came to us under the Internal Revenue Act.
Mm-hmm.
And you see all these words got act at the end of them. That's because they all just acted the whole time.
Mm. Self, it's right in your motherfucking face. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
all of the acts mean that's another scene in the play.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was telling somebody, even when you're doing music, like you know how they do with the act of parliament. Like anytime you're a creator, if you're a creator or artist or anything, as far as like you want to protect and to where you're able to monetize off your off your creativity, when they give you a contract, cross out artist and cross out actor and put creator because that takes you away from the jurisdiction of the act of parliament.
Yeah, but it also takes you out of the protection of the Screen Actors Guild too, as a because they won't unionize you if you don't follow the contract.
Mm-hmm.
It's all catch 22. It's based on sharecroppers agreements, the Hollywood contract, the movie contracts, the music contracts. It's all based on the Hollywood. I mean, on the sharecropping agreement being applied to your creative output. Like
Mm.
even if you were like Bill Gates was paying hackers to create his software. Why was
Mm-hmm.
he paying the hackers? Because they the ones that understand the computers the best.
Mm.
You pay them, and then because they work for you, all of their laborers that they produced is your intellectual property, not theirs,
Facts.
right? So if they would all came in under 1099 as creators, then he wouldn't have been able to monetize their asset without their consent. Nobody knows this until it's too late. By the time you realize that you could have went in under a 1099 or as a contracted employee per diem amounts or whatever, if you'd have known that ahead of time, then you could have adjusted so that you don't get financially abused. It's like Michael Jackson said it better. He said that I was a small, talented boy from Gary, Indiana. They just did never think I would do good business, and they didn't.
Mm.
And when he was putting 5% of Sony in this contract and 15% in that contract, I was not savvy to contracts when I was hearing these news reports, and I was saying to myself, "I ain't taking their ass to the bank."
Hey, he was lighting their ass up with that stuff, man.
Yeah,
So
because they know how much he can produce. They figure if they can maximize his output and kill him and get that dead celebrity status behind that Michael Jackson thriller persona, they would be making at least $1 billion a year off of it. And that's how much they're making off of him right now. until they got to give it back.
Mm,
Mike said Paris gonna get all of it. I want
mm,
to see it. I want to see her with his shit. Cause when
mm.
she get his shit, he gonna be sharing it with her.
Yep.
I think she the only one that got any of his DNA.
Mm. And is it that his nephew look just like him, the one that's playing him?
Yeah, he do. He look a lot like him, but that's in
Yeah,
the
that's one.
bloodline though.
Yep.
That's in the bloodline. You know, one of his brothers is that boy daddy,
Yep.
or one of his
That's a
sisters is
fact.
his mama. You know, he in the family. He does. They look like damn near twins.
Mm-hmm.
Move the date of the celebration. That's all. That's all buying time.
Mm.
But there ain't no more time to be bought now.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying, "What's taking so long?" They think it's not happening, but I hear you say it actually is happening. It's over.
Well, in 2017, Executive Order Donald J. closed the Federal Reserve. It stopped them from printing currency.
Okay.
So that means that all of the currency that was in circulation, they couldn't destroy the old currency.
Mm.
They didn't want them to destroy the old currency because they couldn't catch the counterfeiters if they destroyed all of the old currency. The counterfeiting is going to come. The counterfeit money is going to be given to us by a foreign country on pallets, right? And when they bring it over here, they're supposed to go through an identification process, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to keep a certain amount of it as evidence. So if they get 20 pallets of artificial money, fiat, counterfeit, they might save a whole pallet of it for evidence,
Oh.
right? And then once they find out what country it's coming from, then they finna get Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, and every other kind of special operations from the Secret Service and CIA. They're gonna flood that country until they find where that counterfeiter at.
Okay.
Now they did it in Colombia, I think it was, back in the 80s. They caught them because they was counterfeiting like $1 billion a year.
Mm.
You know, so everything is winding down now. So they just stopped the printing of the penny.
Yeah.
That don't seem like that mean nothing to most people. But when the last penny was struck in Philadelphia, that's where the first established government of the United States Corporation's original capital was. They don't move it for a couple years later to DC,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Well, they got to reverse engineer everything you've seen coming in. You got to see it coming out.
Okay. So, what is the significance of them removing the penny?
The penny is the financial significance of the original copper colored people. That's why it's copper.
Okay.
The reason they use Abraham Lincoln on there is because the real Abraham Lincoln was original copper color, but they whitewashed him.
Mm.
Right. So the penny in the ending of their system is also a recognition of us by stopping the penny from being printed. Because now what was once copper comes back now as a denomination of gold or silver.
You know that the United States just added copper as one of its imported minerals.
Yeah. Well, remember, they used to use copper in the pipes in all of the houses.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Now they use plastic PVC.
Hmm.
You know what CBDs are?
Central bank digital currency?
PCBs, I mean.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know what
Those are carcinogens, cancer-causing agents.
Oh my God.
And that's what's in the piping that they're giving us now. The PVC pipe, the gas, is loaded with PCBs.
Mm. The copper, and you know, copper, I remember a time when doctors used to give people who had joint pain copper bracelets and copper knee pads. Yeah, tell them to wear copper on their bodies to stop joint pain.
Some of the people in the South still remember drinking out of copper cups.
Yeah, yeah.
And they say that the water tasted better and it stayed colder longer.
Mm. Mm.
But everybody thought it was an old wives' tale.
It just seems like everything, well, a lot of things that's happening is about the copper colored people. And people ask me why I keep bringing that up. And it's just because I see it in my face. I see the symbology, I just like we were talking about the Colombian president, the Mexican president, other presidents saying, hey, the Black people are the indigenous peoples all over the world of the Americas, and they are the oldest indigenous people on the planet. There is a reason for them saying that. There's a reason copper is going up in value right now.
Which is another reason to take the penny out of circulation, because a penny worth of copper wouldn't be enough to make a penny.
Okay.
Let that sink in.
Mm.
If the value of copper go up, a penny worth of copper wouldn't be enough to make a penny.
I see. Mm.
It would have to be stretched too thin.
People are saying copper has healing properties.
Yes. Yeah, remember, we used to be magnesium copper based. We iron copper based now. The copper never changed.
Okay.
They just switched the iron, switched with the magnesium to make us brown instead of shades of blue and green. So when you see the paintings of Krishna is blue and Osiris is green, that's when we was magnesium based.
In that movie Wicked, the character is green. I thought that was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they're trying to tell us something. So is that how we originally looked?
Well, our color, our pigment, because the brown in our skin, the melanin is reacting with the rusting or the oxidization of the iron. If it was to react to the magnesium oxidization in copper, they oxidized in shades of green. Right? And the denser the melanin is, the green will become so dark till it turns blue.
Okay.
So it's the synthesis of the metals in the body that changed our skin pigment.
I want to switch the conversation just a little bit. Can you address why President Trump is going against the immigrants and migrants? Right now, he's targeting the Somalians. Can you address why he's, going so hard after the immigrants and the migrants, and why specifically the Somalians? Who are they?
So the Somalians that came over here is part of a Muslim Brotherhood that got in their charter or in their mission statement, their goal is to destroy this country and all of the people in it.
What?
And they found connections with that lady. Well, I forgot her name, but she's from Wisconsin in that Somali group. And they said that she was connected to them, to that organization, and that all of the people that came over, they saturated that area with Somalian so-called refugees. That's a retaliation for Black Hawk Down, Mogadishu. That's where it comes from. They killed Muhammad Fahd Adib. That's like if Russia came over here right now and they killed the mayor of or the governor of a state and then just went back home. Well, it just ain't gonna just go like that.
Ilhan Omar. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's her name. Okay. So they say she connected. I didn't do no background on her, so I don't know who she connected to. But I've seen a couple of different people presenting the paperwork showing her connection to that Somali organization. But it's all get back. And now, if we ain't the ones responsible for the dirt that this government did, then anybody that's going to cause us harm when they tear this government down, they got to be gone.
Okay.
A lot of the so-called migrants was brought over here to pad voting roles. It had nothing to do with refugees and political crisis anywhere in the world.
Mm.
Mexico doesn't have to be in poverty. They don't need to sell drugs.
Okay.
If the people reap the rewards of the mineral wealth of the country of Mexico, everybody will be rich.
They have a lot of silver there in Mexico.
They got oil, just like Saudi Arabia, but they're not allowed to tap it because of the Spanish-American Treaty.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff that they have, but the Spanish-American War, the Mexico-American War, when we annexed Arizona, New Mexico, California, Nevada, and Texas, they treaty or they peace agreement prevents them from generating national wealth and taking care of their people properly. And they're not in third world country because they a third world country. They're in a third world country because they're economically strangled.
Well, some people would say then they should be able to be here if they're struggling in their countries and we have so many resources. Why can't they be here?
We don't have a problem with them being here because here is there. It's the same country,
Okay.
the same land. Before, look, all of them people they calling them illegals coming from Mexico to California and Arizona, that was Mexico first. So you saying I can't go from one part of my house to the other part of my house? Well, I don't understand that, right? But the issue is not the reason that they bringing them over here. It has nothing to do with they suffering.
Okay.
It has everything to do with controlling the outcome of elections. Votes ain't what we think they is, right? Nobody that you voting for, your vote gonna actually put them people in power. It's not gonna happen. all of the elections are rigged. Been rigged from the beginning. The biggest trick they ever played on us was to get us to demand something called voter rights. We're not stakeholders in the corporation. Our vote don't count. How do we know this? Because the stakeholders vote after we do. They call them the electoral college. So they let us say what we gonna say, and then they laugh at us, and then they do what they were gonna do anyway.
Crazy.
Because as long as we feel included in a decision-making process, we won't overthrow their regime. So it's all an illusion to make you believe you part of this system. And the system is on your back. It's not a system that opened doors for you. It's a system that's on your shoulders. You don't know that the system is on top of you because they got you believing that you're a participant. You're not a participant. Since 1776, everybody that's calling themselves American has been a victim. I don't care what you look like. Because when the law was laid out, like for instance, the Emancipation Proclamation was supposed to free the slaves, which were 13th and 14th Amendment. No. Yeah. It changed the conditions by which slavery could be administered. It didn't get rid of it. Think about it. Right? If you first, you ain't supposed to have a person held for involuntary servitude or slavery. But then the 14th Amendment is say, unless duly convicted of a felony. Right? Where do they derive their felonies from? They're not coming from the law of the land. But if they was, then no drug dealer would be in prison. Because the government brought all the dope here.
Sure did, yes.
Right? So why are they bringing all the dope here and then punishing us for making a living off the dope they brought? It was all a trap to begin with. The rats don't put the cheese in the trap, but he always get caught in it. We didn't bring the dope over here, but we always got caught in it.
Yeah.
And very few of us understood what happened with Iran-Contra.
Okay.
And that this is not a new government thing. You go all the way back to the Opium Wars. Britain was the king of drug dealers. They did it in the Opium Wars. They flooded China with cheap discount opium and opened up opium dens everywhere. So what did Mao Zedong do when he got in there? Anybody that get caught smoking opium, you dead. Nothing to negotiate. Ain't non-negotiable. If you're smoking opium, you are a pariah to the system. You die. Everybody's like, how you just gonna kill all the people? They was like wet rags laying around opium dens, and they couldn't even get up and go nowhere. They already dead. They just ain't literally dead. But for all intents and purposes, they contribute contributions to life. They taking up oxygen for people that could actually be using it to accomplish something.
Yeah.
Right? So you give a person enough dead weight, you're going to wear them down eventually.
Yeah. While you take a pause for a minute, I just want to tell everybody that's in the chat, thank you so much for keeping the conversation going. I see your questions. We're going to give you some time to ask the chief the questions. But thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing information with each other. I see 1,533 people in the chat. Hit the like button, please. That will help the algorithms. And please support our chief. Chief Rod Hayes has been giving out information for probably about a decade that I know of, and he's not paid for this. So I ask that you show him and me and his soul tribe how much we appreciate him for his hard work. You can either send him a blessing by two methods. You can send him a blessing via Cash App. Let's see. Cash App is $SIK8. That's Cash App, capital SIK, capital APE. Or you can send him a donation to his PayPal, which is at SIK801, SIKAPE01. What does SIK8 mean before you go on?
Soldiers in Illuminati are present everywhere.
Okay.
It's an acronym. So it was the communication between me and somebody who came up with something called the Don Illuminati theory. It's a tribal communication.
Okay. And I'm going to take this off the screen, family, but if you look at the ticker below, you will see different methods that you can support the Chief Rod Hayes for always coming on here. And he spends hours of his time. He got a lot of knowledge already in his head, but he studies as well, and he disseminates information on his social media platforms, doesn't ask for a penny, never has. Then he comes on different shows and he gives all this information and never asks for anything. So again, I ask, if you appreciate the information that he's sharing, please support him by sending him some ends, okay, some duckies, as we used to say, to that's the wrong one, to $SIK, capital SIK, capital APE for Cash App. And PayPal is the same thing, except it's SIK801. Okay. Thank you, family. So you talked to me about the immigration. And the reason why I brought that up is because after what happened at the White House with the unaliving of two National Guardsmen, President Trump, he took a hard stance against immigration. He said he's going to vet everybody more thoroughly. He's freezing the asylums. People would come here, their visas would expire, then they would just apply for asylum. He's freezing all that. He's putting a halt on green cards. It's like people think he's crazy, like he's a madman. What do you say to all that?
Another thing that has to happen before they hand the keys back to the tribes is they have to shut the government all the way down. That means they have to close the air travel in the borders.
Okay.
When they get ready to do the big transfer, it's going to be one airport open. It's probably going to be the one in New York, JFK, because it's the one with the most international flights. Either that one or LAX, but it ain't going to be both of them.
Okay.
And that's only going to be for dignitaries, foreign dignitaries that's going to come over here to acknowledge the tribes. And just like what you've seen the Colombian president do, except they're going to be coming to talk to the people and to offer whatever they country or a nation can give us to support. It's a whole, they was waiting on us. The rest of the world been waiting on America. One of these chiefs gonna figure this stuff out sooner or later. And all of the ones around the world been waiting on us. Because we was the ones holding everybody back, because where America go, the world go. right? We accustomed to calling it America now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we use the term because that's what we're accustomed to, but we're going to change the name.
Oh, yeah?
I guarantee you we're going to change the name. We're going to change the borders.
Oh.
We are going to have states. We're going to have territories and provinces.
Hmm.
And it's going to be the matriarchy that's going to do the new lines of demarcation. So if you go get your testicles in the bunch because you ain't in on the meeting, too bad for you. You might as well go get castrated.
Mm.
But it's going to be based on socioeconomic, the ability to administer socioeconomic support to every part of the land.
Okay.
That's what it's based on. That's different between patriarchy and matriarchy. Under patriarchy is for military conquest
Mm-hmm.
and control, military control. Under the matriarchy, it's about bountiful abundance,
Mm-hmm.
right? Magnetic love energy. And
Yeah.
it changes the way people behave and treat each other,
Okay.
right? Just when the women get what's rightfully theirs back, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to make all of the real men stand up and be like, I could be a man now.
Okay.
Because a lot of them right now is running around hiding behind garbage cans, people around the corner, hoping that they don't see massa coming.
So what about the matriarchy makes the man want to stand up even stronger?
Look, you know how women be aggressive with
Yeah.
men, cuss them out, and ain't none of that. Man, women in their nature, when they be able to follow their nature, it make men just melt at the presence of women. They can't help it. That's where your whole Medusa story came from. The mischaracteristics or an exaggeration of the true story. Every man has seen a woman where he just freezes and he can't do nothing, just look at her. You look too long, now you lost your head. Because the Gorgons was warrior priestesses. They were similar to the Amazonians, but their mission was to settle Greece.
Okay.
Medusa's name is Helen. Medusa is her title.
Oh.
And she's a Psi priestess, which means she was a grand doula.
Hmm.
The title Medu, or the number Medu, is 10 in Kemetic. That's the highest rank,
Hmm.
right? So she was the highest ranked doula of the Hellenistic system. So they called her Medu Psi.
Hmm.
Then you had, when she was Helen, you ever heard of Hellenistic society?
Yes.
Okay. This is talking about a feminine society. This is why Bobby Hemming say all of that dark shit, that hell shit, that's the feminine realm. That's what he was talking about. So here we come years later, and we're trying to look at ancient times and modern lenses, and we're going to always be distorted because of it. It's not the same.
Hmm. Okay. So I heard you say a little earlier they're going to turn things over to the tribes. They're going to turn the government over to the tribes here on the land?
And they ain't got no choice. We was governing the land before they came. Why we can't govern it now? We just had to re-educate and educate ourselves above the ignorant conditions that we was subjugated to. They killed off all our educated. When we seen lynchings, we thought they were just random people, melanated people. Them was not random people.
Okay.
The prelude to the lynchings was your intelligence, your ability to stand your ground, and your ability to educate and influence others. You did. That was a death warrant. That's why we take pride in being ignorant now, trying to avoid being lynched.
Oh.
And most of us don't know that what we call a KKK is a Masonic Brotherhood from Spain called the Black Brotherhood of Spain.
Mm.
They was Moors. The original KKK members under them robes looked like us.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, when you look back at some of the old pictures from the 1800s, look at the hands.
Mm. Mm.
Make sure you look at the hens, because you're gonna be surprised how many black hens hanging under black robes. Then you know why the black hen was the most feared thing in the South.
Oh.
Because you didn't know if it was this nigga sitting next to you or the one you just bought your stuff from in the pharmacy that's gonna don this robe. They led and trained and educated the pale-faced KKK.
Mm.
Now I don't know what the new one's gonna do, because all they grandbabies mulattoes now.
And where did they come from? These are the Moors from Spain, you say?
Yeah, the conquistadors. If you go to the computer right now and type in Black Brotherhood of Spain.
Okay. Black Brotherhood. Okay, let's see. The Black Brotherhood of Spain most likely refers to the Hermandad de los Negritos in Seville, one of the oldest surviving brotherhoods in Spain, founded in 1393 for black slaves and former slaves. I'll bring it up. Black Brotherhoods of Spain. Okay. Brotherhood of Spain. Family, hit the like button, please, and share the video. Make sure you send the chief. Oh my God. Make sure this took me by surprise. Make sure you send the chief a blessing. I couldn't even get my words out. Make sure you send a contribution to the chief for enlightening us. Who knew the KKK were a bunch of dark-skinned people? Yeah, somebody said it's the black nobility.
They are absolutely correct. The black nobility is the ones that got kicked out of Europe for eating and raping babies.
Oh my God.
And now they want to mix in with us like they normal and we ain't.
Oh my God. Look at this. This is wild.
Each one of them colors represents something different. When they wearing a different color robe.
Yes, I see black. Oh, I see the white and blue.
Yeah, keep scrolling down. You're going to see the all white ones too.
Jiminy Crick, yes. I see all white ones with the pointy head things. Pointy hoods. This is wild. Oh, I see black with blue.
Yeah, they got different colors for different stuff. In the original Klansmen, the leaders used to wear the different color robes. The one they called the Grand Dragon, he wore the black and red robe. The Grand Wizard wore a blue robe. They had different titles and ranks, and they all had different color robes that matched their rank.
Look at
That's
this
how
one.
the Yep. So that's the blackface. The blackface was to tell us who was behind the dirt. That's why the pale face dressed up in blackface. Because when they kicked the Moors out of Europe, the dirty Moors, they came over here. So they started doing black. That's called a minstrel performance, by the way. Blackface is minstrel performance.
Okay.
The minstrels was another way of saying theater back then.
Okay. Minstrel.
Right. Yeah. So they dress up in blackface. They telling you the story of they're telling you the story of them ones who was pulling their strings. Now, the paleface identify who their handler is by what's called a type in Moorish brooch.
Okay.
This is where they get the name Jews from.
Moorish brooch. BROACH,
I think.
BROACH? Okay.
Go to images.
Okay. Let me see if it's showing on your end. Oh.
Okay, now this is how they got to be called Jews.
Oh.
Dr. Clark got a lecture. Dr. John Henry Clark got a lecture. He said they was named Jews because of the jewels they wore. This is the jewels when you converted, that the one who was in charge of your family gave you one of these. When you representing them, you wear it. You see that lady right there that's coming up on the left?
On the left.
Click on her picture.
This lady right here?
Yep. So she's some kind of European nobility. And she got the brooch on. She's telling you who's her handler.
What? I see it right here. Do I need to make it bigger, or can you see on your end? I can
It's
see it.
not up to me. It's up to the people that's watching. You can make it bigger for them. I already know what it look like.
We already know. Okay, family, can y'all see that? They look like us, but they ain't us. Somebody says. Let me make it a little bigger. Yes. Okay. What is a blackamoor brooch? The controversy explored in Harry and Meghan. What? Harry
Because
and Meghan.
they wear them too. All of the royal families of Europe wear these.
Are those the images? Yeah. Anything specific I'm looking for?
When you go through them, you're gonna see that most of the brothels is full of pale faced women.
They are. Yes, I see that.
Okay, now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now. This takes us to J.A. Rogers, who they labeled a crack and an insane researcher, and said he didn't have any alphabets behind his name, so his research couldn't be taken serious, but he got all his receipts in the book. But anyway, going back to J.A. Rogers, Nature Knows No Color Line and Sex and Race explores what's going on over here. Right? Now, they had this presentation they used to give about whitewashing the people through amalgamation, forced amalgamation.
The best little whorehouse in Texas. I remember hearing about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's actually a movie about that.
Okay.
I think it's porno though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Syrians is the ones from Prussia. It used to be called the Prussian Empire. Later it became known as Khazaria. Right? That was the original homeland of the Huns that they brought over as servants. Later on, Khazarians, the ones that was the mulatto offspring of those out of those Moorish harems didn't have birthrights. So the children and the concubines who mothered them got together and refused. The women refused sex, and the children refused to do anything that the father said until they gave them some rights. So they felt they would be harmless to just put them over the bank because we still own the money, but they can live off the bank by administering banking. This is where you get your Rothschilds from. This is where you get your Warburg family from. And a lot of these other ones that we think is nobility, they're not nobility, they peasantry. But they've been put in the royal palaces of Europe.
Oh.
And a lot of them are mulatto offspring. This is how when they say tracing their bloodline, and nobody in Europe that's pale face can trace their bloodline straight back longer than about 200 years. Because they were all being shuffled around in what we would call them pauper villages. Right? And they were setting up these villages for a repository of slaves that was captured in warfare. So the Ottomans coming in from the east is meeting up with the Etruscans coming across the the Iberian Peninsula into Spain. And then what ended up happening is the Europeans figure out what's going on. Why are all of the babies coming up missing? When they finally find the stronghold of where the babies was, we can look at the timeline where they located them because they gave us orphan trains and babies coming in on ships by the hundreds. Right? These ships, you got children coming in with the Ellis Island immigration alone at 10 and 8 and 7 years old. They used to literally put the babies in the mail.
Oh my God.
You go back to the Google and say mailing babies. You're going to see a mailman with a baby in his basket.
Mailing babies. Okay. That yeah, somebody said that the world has been evil. This is heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been the same people behind it. You can trace them all the way back to ancient Babylon.
Where do they come from? Like, are these humans? Are they
They're
non-humans?
not they not humans,
Okay.
right? They are what's the word for something? They anthropomorphic aliens
Hmm.
that look human. They didn't come here looking like that.
Okay.
They got to die so many times on Earth to take on the physical body. When they first came, they didn't look like that.
Okay.
On a second and third iterations, they suffer from a condition called ichthyosis, severe ichthyosis,
Okay.
right? If you look ichthyosis up, it's also called lizard skin,
Mm.
right? But the ichthyosaur was an ancient fish that they named after.
Mm.
That's so we know that the people with the condition been here a long time, but they don't belong here.
So they're not human, and but they do mate with some of the humans, don't they?
They can't have babies with humans.
Oh, they can't.
Mhm.
Okay.
Not the real ones. Some of the ones that's hybrids that is from a different alien species, they can mix their blood with human blood. But the other ones, the woman will spontaneously abort every time, unless you got to go through a whole process to get her to carry the baby to term. And that's how you know who they is, because most of the time they don't have children, they adopt.
Wow.
And they love adopting our children because they think they can change their temperament from being like us to being like them.
Was it you that once said these are the people that's living in gated communities?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how they stay away from the general public, so you can't see their little idiosyncrasies that'll reveal who they is.
Mm.
They try not to cohabit with us.
Oh, somebody said that's why they're so big on incubation.
Incubators ancient.
Okay. Now, are these are these the ones that go into Hollywood, or they control Hollywood?
They own Hollywood.
Okay, they own Hollywood.
Okay, now they also have handlers. Like, for instance, the queen of the dam is Kim Kardashian, right? She's the highest ranked Hollywood witch right now because she's the most phenotypically like a sister out of the collection of the witches, which means that she had to have been here a certain amount of time and died a certain amount of times in order to come back looking like that. Otherwise, she came back looking like her sister, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
You know, these industries and these corporations, you know, genetically they're imbeciles because, like I said, they've been cut off by the transmission of the sun. But like I said, now we're going back into a restoration period. So I was just basically telling them about Antarctica.
I was listening.
Yeah, I went off the haywire a little bit.
Well, Antarctica is so if you go to the Book of Enoch, it talks about Tartarus. Right, Tartarus is where we get the Tartarian concept from.
Mm-hmm.
Tartarus is the coldest desert on Earth, which is in Antarctica. Topography of Antarctica under the ice matches the topography of Enoch's description of Tartarus. The same mountain range, yeah, it's the same mountain range, the same peaks. They all described in the Book of Enoch, and the only place on Earth where it matched the topography matched is Antarctica. Now we forget that Antarctica, by it being frozen, is what's making it a desert, right? Because the vegetation can't grow, and the sun barrier blocks it, and it's got a pretty steady freezing temperature, but it don't have a lot of fluctuations like the other parts of the world where it get cold. Like, for instance, in the northern hemisphere, we go through 4 season cycles. Antarctica got 1 season. We get
Mm-hmm.
temperatures that range from below 0 to 100 degrees or more. Well, Antarctica's stay below freezing, but it don't drop to below 0 on average. It just
Mm-hmm.
gets colder. It's just continuously cold, which over a long period of time, it makes the sensation of that cold feel way colder than say Alaska.
You know why? They got that encryption over that geographical area because the no-fly zone in that geographical area creates the sigil of Moloch, which is also in alignment with the Khazarian Tamga. And it looks just like the Ukrainian crest, which is also connected to Canaanite culture. Remember, they had that meeting in Antarctica in 2021, and they met up with some type of entities or whatever, and they said they was in Lucifer's palace. So yeah,
Yeah,
that kind of like yeah.
that's a
Go ahead.
ship. That's just a ship that's
Uh huh.
under the ice. It's a big disc-shaped ship under the ice in Antarctica. It was sitting there. So the reason Antarctica froze is because when they had the war that made what they call the iron bracelet, the meteor belt,
Mm-hmm.
asteroid belt, that war caused the South Pole area where Antarctica at to peer outside of the atmosphere of the Earth, which flash froze everything,
Mm.
right? And over a prolonged period of time, the people that was flash froze over there was able to use a physical form as a beacon and telepathically start calling for help.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until Richard Byrd made it to Antarctica. Actually, I think some Germans made it there first,
Mm-hmm.
or they used his works to get there. But anyway, when they went down there, they discovered that there's a cavernous entrance into the center Earth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he also found the same thing at the North Pole because we in a torsion field.
Mm-hmm.
The center of the torsion field is hollow,
Mm-hmm.
which gives us our hollow Earth. Now you have
Mm.
caverns that spins off from the center, right? That people can go in and they have their own little central sun area. This is called Shambhala and Agartha, the Twin Cities. Just
Mm.
like saying Minneapolis, St. Paul,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they got different people living in each one of those regions, right? So when you get under Antarctica, this is where if you go to TikTok, they got something called the Bashinga tribe.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to tell us, and they want us to believe this, that the Bashinga tribe was some people they brought from Africa and transplanted to Antarctica that flourished.
Mm.
That's not possible. It's not the way the Bashinga tribe dressed in Antarctica.
Right.
It's not possible. The anatomy of a people that's been living in a tropical climate for thousands of years suddenly transporting into a cold climate, they cannot physiologically adjust in they need a couple of generations
Mm-hmm.
to physiologically adjust.
Mm.
That's because they thawed those people out using the cryogenics that was given to them, their scientists, by telepathy from them people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they told them what to study. The North American toad that freezes through the winter, and several other lizard species that freeze through the winter because they got a chemical in their body that stops the cells from breaking down as they thaw out.
Mm.
So when they told them how to make the substance, they didn't think it was going to work because they thought they would thaw out too fast for the substance to protect the cell. But they told them how to adjust for the substance.
Mm.
Thus, cryogenics became functional because they knew how to thaw people out. But the
Mm.
first major figure that we know of that put themselves in cryostasis is Walt Disney,
Yep.
right? Now, what a lot of us don't know is a lot of the chiefs that had the death penalty, like Big Tookie, just instead of killing them, they frozen. Big Tookie is the most prominent name of the ones they froze. And so when they show you the rest of them that come out, you're gonna think they was somebody that was dead because you thought the government killed them, whatever. They was froze.
That's Demolition Man was about Tookie.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
they was basically talking about.
yeah.
Wesley
Not
Snipes.
only that, it's telling you they told us in movies and music who did it, who froze it. Remember, Arnold
Hold on.
Schwarzenegger.
You breaking up a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so Arnold Schwarzenegger became Mr. Freeze in Batman
Oh wow.
after he froze Big Tookie.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. And then that also in alignment because he played in Terminator, so that's also connected to the cybernetics. And that's when you look at the timeline of Demolition Man, you was living in a cybernetic dystopia. Everything was
Okay,
artificial intelligence.
now
So I see it.
Let's go back to Terminator. In Terminator 1, he was the bad guy, right?
Right.
But in Terminator 2,
He was a good guy.
he came back to save the very person he was sent to kill the first time.
Right. Interesting.
It's a 180 flip. That's a Gemini flip.
So everything's backwards.
Yeah.
So they tell
Look, that's a Gemini flip. And remember, he played in the movie Twins.
Yep.
With Danny DeVito.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. Yep.
Right. So he played his twin self in the Terminator, but he telling you that the real twin don't look like him in Twins. Right. Remember in the movie Twins, they was clone babies, and Danny DeVito was a side effect.
Wow.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger was the one that they was programming to be what he became.
Yep.
Smarter, stronger, faster, prettier, all of it.
And I'm about to watch that tonight. I forgot. I used to watch it. My dad had me watching all them 80s movies like in the early 2000s. I used to watch all them movies. So I'm gonna run that back. That's a good ass movie.
And then Danny DeVito, they wasn't expecting him to be born. But when Arnold Schwarzenegger was born, they was like, "Oh, wait a minute, here comes another one."
Right.
Story of Esau and Jacob.
Yep.
Right? Looked fundamentally different. The problem is that people got Esau, Adam, mixed up with pale faces. He wasn't a pale face. Because the name Adam means ruddy red clay of the earth.
Red man.
Yeah. Same with Adam. Adam means ruddy red clay of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
They talking about Mississippi clay dirt walking over in the Middle East.
That's crazy how the movies, man, they tell the whole story. And then I remember I was telling you about Ready Player One. In order for him to beat the game, he had to go backwards in order for him to get the first key. Crazy. We're gonna get to one more question, and then we're gonna let the elder let him get his piece. How do the Hyperboreans align with biblical cosmology? How does their legacy connect to the history of the so-called African Americans and the archons described as rulers of this world? Now, you can also associate it with an archon with a draconian reptilian. They're basically one and the same because an archon is what controls the demiurge, which basically controls planet Earth by way of the Saturn and the Moon, because Saturn and the Moon are basically the hard drives that gives the power to the liquid crystal technology, which is also controlled by archonic forces. So when you're talking about Hyperboreans, because I never really got into the bloodlines of the Hyperboreans, so I can't really say much about that. Like, what you think about that?
Hyperboreans is another name for those that was more advanced. Hyper mean a whole lot of something extreme. Boreans mean light beings, light bodies.
Mm.
Right? They're
Like
not talking. They're
Borealis.
talking about yeah. They're talking about Atlanteans. When
Mm-hmm.
you hear Hyperborea, when you hear Tartaria, all them just cover stories for United States, ancient America, aka Atlantis.
Mm. Mm.
This is
And then
code words. It says telling you the same thing about the same society. We had waves, or what we call strata of societies, rise and fall over the eons, not millennia.
mm-hmm.
Millennia is not enough time. We've been
Mm-hmm.
doing this for trillions of years, right? We
Mm.
did it in different star systems. We get tired of one star system because we done lived 100 trillion lives in that sucker. We go make another one with different rules of engagement for that system,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, and the Earth is a matriarchal planet. It's a feminine planet in the solar system that has primarily three feminine bodies in it: Venus, Earth, and Luna. But they
Mm.
don't tell you about the fourth one, Lilith. Right? The reason they keep Lilith a secret is because it keeps the secrets of the ancient one. The ancient mother manifests in modern times. You won't be able to track her because you can't follow the Lilith energy.
Mm.
She gonna be real sweet to you, but that means she won't cuss your ass out if you need it.
Right. That's a fact.
And then when she get done cussing you out, she gonna go take a minute, wash your hands, and come here and get you something to eat before you leave, because you ain't leaving on an empty stomach.
Tough love.
Yeah.
And then this guy, he Paysky Drewski, salute to you. Is this why North mythology is hell? Yeah. Well, when you get into like how you ever heard a lot of people in the esoterics, they know that hell is actually like the embodiment of code because the devil is actually blue. It's not the red devil. But it's all symbology because it's another form of light code lockdown.
Okay.
Cryogenics in itself
Listen.
is another way to lock down DNA with cold weather.
So when you talk about hell, you're talking about Hellenistic culture.
Mm-hmm.
Hellenistic culture is named after Helen or Hella. We talking Greek culture now.
Mm-hmm.
So when they talk about hell being cold, they're talking about the Iberian Peninsula during the reign of the Greece Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hela was the goddess of the frost. We know it as the story of Loki. She was the
Mm-hmm.
princess of the frost giants, meaning those who was big as hell that moved to the north,
Mm.
right? Who was the one who was giving birth to an heir. They called him Loki. Loki don't have a father, so he was adopted by Thor's father. Let that sink in.
Mm.
Loki don't have a father, so he was adopted by Thor's father.
Same story.
Warring brothers now. Thor and Loki are now brother enemies.
Mm.
They call Loki the trickster, but he's not the trickster. He's the one they can't trick because he know all of their tricks. So they
Fact.
label him the trickster god, so that when the other guys encounter him, they know don't try no tricky shit on him because he gonna see it. The easiest way to get him is to be straight,
Mm-hmm.
right? Thor, on the other hand, embodying the feminine qualities of Athena with his long flowing blind locks,
Mm-hmm.
right? Thor, if you go back to the Ragnarok, in the beginning of Ragnarok, Thor and Loki is watching Odin go into his 1,000-year sleep,
Mm-hmm.
right? Before he go, he give them a little lecture, then they bicker a little bit, then he leave, going on off. They sitting there mourning him, and out of nowhere, a portal opened up, and here come this chick named Hela. Talking about she's coming to take her throne back. And Thor throws his hammer and she crushes it.
Mm.
Now remember, the Incredible Hulk couldn't pick up Mjolnir. She crushed it.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in power is exhibited in the rightful heir, Hela, coming to reclaim her birthright from Thor. And the
Mm.
only person that can help her enforce it is Loki.
Mm.
Because
So
he's
she gotta
not
go to the
related to Thor. He's related to
oh,
Hela,
she gotta go to the dark side.
the Chaos Realm. In
Huh?
the Chaos Realm. Remember what Bobby said about the Chaos
Mm-hmm.
Realm?
Yep.
Bobby literally said the Chaos Realm is the feminine realm, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you're talking about the feminine realm now you're talking about the movement of Shakti,
Mm.
which is the divine feminine energy. So the hell concept that we have does not come from Europe because hell in Europe was the home of heaven, as you see when they call Greek a Hellenistic society.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Rome took over, Rome wanted the Greeks to have the appearance of having some power, so it became the Greco-Roman civilization. But Rome the ones that conquered Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Now in Rome, they changed Hela from a male to a female god in the Roman pantheon. In the Roman pantheon, Helen is a man.
Mm.
That's called beheading the god, replacing the air. It's an Anunnaki game of
Bait
heritable
and
birthright.
switch.
It's how
Baiting and
to
switching.
stealing birthrights. Because if you don't know that you got the right to reclaim it, then you won't never reclaim it. Because you don't remember that it was yours to begin with, and you thinking that it belonged to somebody with a name same as yours. That's called a
Facts.
namesake flip.
That's a fact. And
That's
what you
what they
think about
did
this?
with the Bindy thing. That's a name flip. Bindy is bind I bind, which is me, bind me, my bind, right?
Mm.
So then you look at the shooting, right? You got a father and son shooting on Bindy Beach, right? The beach is synonymous with surfing.
Mm-hmm.
That means stand 10 toes down under the assault. These
Mm.
are codes.
Yeah. That's how I see it, man. And it's really a play on, the whole Epstein situation too.
And
That's what I seen in it. And then you got Albert Pike, the 33rd degree Mason, talking about the political Canaanites going against the those Middle Eastern terrorists.
yeah, that's that's the septic people. They call them septics
Yeah.
now. Hmm.
Hey, what you I ain't hear about this. What you think about this? It says the Vatican giving Indian tribes back 62 artifacts.
Yeah. I actually posted it a couple days ago.
Mm.
Right. That's what you call a show of good faith.
It's so much shit going on. I ain't even hear about this. Slip right under my nose.
Well,
What
six and
about
two
this?
is eight. Eight
Mm.
is divine feminine. It's also the infinity loop. But to give it to you at 62, it's a broken loop.
Mm. Mm. You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke went down the wrong pipe.
I heard that. Yeah. But
Remember, they just gave the Pope a white horse
well, when was this?
about a week ago,
I said I
maybe
missed
two
that
weeks
too.
ago.
So
Yeah,
what does that basically symbolize? Like as far as
everybody thinking that the pale horse of Revelations and the white horse is the same. They're not.
right.
So the white horse is the conquering horse. The pale horse is the one that carried death. If
Right.
you don't know what a pale horse look like, you watch Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood.
Mm.
Clint Eastwood and Pale Rider represents the spirit of death.
Mm.
He was
Okay,
the
I'm about to
priest.
watch.
He was a priest riding in on the pale horse, the pale
You saw.
rider.
You said the Pale Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Pale Rider.
The color of the horse is important because you get the white horse and you think that the white horse and the pale horse is the same horse, and they're not. And a lot of people call it the pale white horse.
Right.
The pale horse, in the language that it comes out of, it references a greenish color. But when it's actually put to canvas in representation, it'll fade to gray.